Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, members. I hope all of you are fine. I hope all of you enjoyed your weekend. Um, okay, thank you very much. I got a chance to have a look at the conversation shortly before coming to the, you know, to the session. I had a quick look at the WhatsApp group. Um, although I am getting individual messages from from people who are parts of various groups कि इस ग्रुप के अंदर एक्टिविटी लेवल को कम कराया जाए और इसके अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा एक्टिविटी चल रही है but I can tell you I like the way it is. So I think the conversations are happening, discussions going on, कोई irrelevant बातें नहीं हो रही इसके अंदर, and therefore we are perfectly fine with it. Okay, so please keep the activity level in the WhatsApp group very high, and keep the discussions flowing. Just keep them very relevant and focused. So good job. I think you all being very professional and reasonable with the use of the social media platform. So congratulations. I would say continue to use the way you want to. There are few individuals um who are probably thinking that there is too much conversation happening, and some of them have left the group as well, which is purely fine, which is perfectly all right, and it's the matter of choice. If you want that you should be working in isolation, etc., so that's perfectly all right with you. Today I got a chance to speak with a few members, and I was talking to them regarding the current situation, regarding uh, their jobs being affected because of COVID, etc. And I got a chance to speak with some members, and these were young members. Some of them became members in the last year, which is 6 saal pehle. So there was, I concluded after speaking with about 15, 20 members that very few members know about ACCA's reduced subscription policy. And as a result, I thought today in the session, a little before the session, in the first few minutes, I'll tell you about the reduced subscription policy. I'll tell you about how ACCA is facilitating members. And number three, I'll also talk about the ACCA care package, and also about how to properly manage your conversation. I found it to my surprise that even though quite a few members that I spoke with today, they mentioned that that their salaries were lower than £6,000 per annum. However, neither did they know about the six digits program, nor did they know about the reduced subscription policy in place, which means, when I asked them that do you regularly check your emails that ACCA sends you, majority of them thought that they don't. So my first suggestion to you, although you are all very responsible members, and you responded to ACCA's call for six digits program, and otherwise also to ACCA's emails about subscription reminders, etc. But what I'll suggest you to do is that the email address that you very regularly check, and when I say regularly, that does not mean once in a week, that does not mean once in 2 3 days, that means once every day, twice every day, or more than that. If you ask me, I would check my official emails at least about 20 different times in the day. So uh, please give the email address, that particular email address to ACCA, which you normally regularly check. It may or may not be the official email that you have been given by your organization. Okay, so you can remember that. Secondly, about the yes, thank you, Kashif. The reduced subscription is very beneficial. You've always availed it to the current year. Great, that's exactly why it's there. So very quickly, the reduced subscription policy says that if you earn I mean, there are three slabs for reduced subscription. One is the full subscription. The other is reduced subscription if you are earning less than £6,000. And the third is that if you're earning less than £6,000 and or you are unemployed. So in first case, the subscription amount is £258 per annum. So remember, I'll repeat, £258 per annum is the full subscription. Now, if you are earning less than £6,000, sorry, yes, less than £6,000, which means you can qualify, and you are in an employment, you can qualify for reduced subscription. Uh, how do you apply for it? You go to your My ACCA account, and there is this application for reduced subscription provided to you. So you fill out that application, pick up one or two evidences which are readily available, and those evidences can be your salary slips or account details or account statement of the account where your salary is dropped in, or if you are a taxpayer, your last taxation, the tax return, which I'm sure all of you already submit, so being responsible citizens. So your tax statement, I mean, these can be, or tax return rather, these can be your evidences for reduced subscription. The third possible, and in that case, sorry, coming back, in that case, your subscription amount is reduced from £258 to £129, 129. Now, the third possibility is that if you are unemployed, which means if you are between jobs, or if for some part of the year you were not able to remain on a permanent job or in a full-time job, in that case you can apply for reduced subscription, the third category of reduced subscription, right, which allows you to get your subscription reduced to £58, which is the case if you are not working, if you have uh, if you have left your job because of any educational reasons, for any religious reasons, or if you've left your job to take care of a family member at home who needs full-time care. Yeah. So in such situations, you can apply for the reduced subscription, the third category of it. Once again, you have to provide an evidence, and that evidence can be in the form of the final uh, experience letter that you got from the organization, from the last job that you were doing, your resignation from that position, from that organization, an accepted resignation, etc., from your recent organization, or if God forbid, you were asked to leave because of any economic circumstances, etc., any communication from your organization that supports this claim that you are unemployed can be your evidence for it. तो ये तीन mechanisms हैं reduce ये categories हैं subscriptions की. For people who still want more help, right? So अगर किसी को £258 पे करने हैं और वो in full in one go पे नहीं करना चाहता, या किसी को 129 पे करना है और वो अपना जो burden है of paying वो एक particular month पे accumulate नहीं करना चाहता, so ACCA advises you to make part payments as per your ease, your convenience. Make part payments, and therefore, um, in normal circumstances, by May of every year, आप अपनी part payment कर करके अपनी subscription pay off कर सकते हैं. So I can give you an example. Your accounts are credited by the beginning of December. तो अगर मैं दिसंबर, जनवरी, फरवरी, मार्च, अप्रैल और मई 6 महीनों की बात करूं, तो स्ट्रेट अवे आप अपनी, मैं पोजीशन बता रहा हूं भाई, कि आप स्ट्रेट अवे पार्ट पेमेंट्स के थ्रू अपनी सब्सक्रिप्शन को 6 पार्ट्स में ब्रेक करके जितना अमाउंट आप करंट मंथ में पे कर सकते हैं सिर्फ उतना करते हैं, राइट? बट प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट बिफोर मे आपकी जो सब्सक्रिप्शन आउटस्टैंडिंग है वो 0 होनी चाहिए। ओके, तो जीशान, इसके लिए जो आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा है कि स्प्लिट कैसे करना है इनवॉइस को स्प्लिट नहीं करना होता। जब आप पेमेंट आप सबमिट पेमेंट स्क्रीन आती है, वहां पर आप अमाउंट को एडिट कर सकते हैं। तो इसके लिए वीडियोस अवेलेबल हैं, वो अब मैं आपको किसी वक्त शेयर कर दूंगा। वो वीडियो देखकर आप एग्जैक्टली देख सकते हैं कि किस तरह आपने पार्ट पेमेंट प्रोसेस करनी है। ओके, सो ये तो नॉर्मल कोर्स है। इस दफा बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड एसीसीए ने मई मई 2020 में जो सब्सक्रिप्शन थी उसकी बेसिस पे सस्पेंशन नहीं की। एसीसीए ने टाइम अलाउ किया मेंबर्स को कि वो सितंबर 15 तक अपनी सब्सक्रिप्शन पे कर ले, विच मींस यू हैड मोर टाइम टू प्लान योर पेमेंट्स टिल 15 सितंबर। तो एक तो 15 सितंबर परमिट कर दिया, और दूसरा ये कह दिया कि अगर आप इस दौरान कोविड की वजह से, किसी इकोनॉमिक रीजंस की वजह से, इफ योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज आस्क्ड यू टू लीव, या आपको अनपेड लीव पे भेज दिया गया है, या आपकी जॉब लॉस हो गया है, गॉड फॉरबिड, तो आप, even though you may be earning around 10,000 pounds, more than 6,000 pounds है, 10,000 pounds तक चले गए हैं आपकी सैलरी है पर एनम, तब भी आप रिड्यूस सब्सक्रिप्शन के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। तो ये एक एडिशनल फीचर था जो एसीसीए ने प्रोवाइड किया टू द मेंबर्स। So I think while I'm talking to these members, जो आज मैंने आपको भी बताया कि मैंने कुछ members के साथ calls की, उनसे discussions की, तो I thought it would be important कि हमारे एटलीस्ट जो 6 सिटीज में लोग बैठे हुए हैं उनको भी इसका फुली आइडिया हो कि एसीसी कैसे फैसिलिटेट कर रहा है। अगर आपको कोई दुश्वारी है, कोई क्वेश्चंस हैं, तो उसको आप you can bring it up and you can have a discussion around it. Okay, so जी उस्मान, मैं इसी के लिए मैंने अभी एक्सप्लेन कर रहा था आपको कि जो रिड्यूस सब्सक्रिप्शन की पॉलिसी है एसीसीए की, वो काफ़ी फ्लेक्सिबल है। इस पे मजीद डिस्कशंस हो रही हैं, रेगुलरली हो रही हैं। नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए देयर इज समथिंग more lucrative, more convenient being discussed. I cannot share the details at the moment, but ACCA is continuously looking at the situation. ACCA is even looking at the exchange rate situation in certain countries, right? So ये सब कुछ under observation है। ये ACCA देख रहा है, डिस्कस करता है, मार्केट्स के साथ डिस्कस करता है, और उसके बाद एसीसीए की जो पॉलिसी है वो रिव्यू होती है या चेंज होती है। So rest assured, we are aware of the situation and we are taking corrective measures in this regard. Chalen ji, thank you very much. Let's now have a discussion around uh, the last session that we had, the unmoderated session. But it is 7:20 already. Do you think you should take a quick namaz break? ऑल्दो लाहौर में अब अजान जो है वो 6:45 के करीब हो जाती है। सो आई हैव सेट माय प्रेयर्स। तो अगर अभी भी कराची में फॉर एग्जांपल भी नमाज टाइम, तो हम अभी 10 मिनट की नमाज ब्रेक ले लेते हैं, देन व्हेन वी कम बैक वी विल वेरी क्विकली डिस्कस द आउटकम फ्रॉम द अनमॉडरेटेड सेशन। ओके, एंड अनमॉडरेटेड सेशन में से कुछ मेरी भी फाइंडिंग्स थी जो मैं आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करूंगा, and therefore from both the sessions, like affiliates wale mein se bhi और members wale mein se. So 7:20 by my watch. Let's take a 10 minutes namaz break. Let's quickly say our prayers and then come back. We will resume at 7:30. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sure most of you will be back. Sorry, my son is playing piano. So, thank you. All right. There were a few questions raised during the namaz break. I was looking at the questions. Um, CPD requirement is never waived for any member. It is relaxed, which means if you are not in an active role, it is relaxed, but it is not waived. Okay. Number two, uh, for FCCA status, you need to be a member in good standing. इसका मतलब ये है कि आप सस्पेंड ना हुए हों और आपके खिलाफ कोई लीगल हेयरिंग ना हुई हुई हो या हो रही हो जिसमें आपको गिल्टी ठहराया गया हो. सो रिमेंबर दैट अगर आप कहीं सस्पेंड हो गए बीच में, खुदा न खास्ता, फॉर एग्जांपल 2-3 माह के लिए आप सस्पेंड हो गए, आपने या सब्सक्रिप्शन लेट कर दी या आपने सीपीडी डिक्लेरेशन नहीं दी या आपका नाम सीपीडी में ऑडिट में आ गया और आपने ऑडिट की रिक्वायरमेंट्स कंप्लीट नहीं की, ये तमाम वो सर्कमस्टांसेस हैं जिसमें आप सस्पेंड हो जाते हैं. तो अगर आप सस्पेंड हो गए हैं तो इसका मतलब ये है कि आपका एफसीसीए स्टेटस जो है वो अफेक्ट होगा, विच मींस जो 5 कंसेक्यूटिव ईयर्स हैं वो उसकी ड्यूरेशन जो है वो रीसेट हो जाएगी. इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर तकरीबन 4.5 साल हो गए या 4 साल हो गए आपको मेंबर बने हुए, 1 साल आपने मजीद स्पेंड करना है और उसी साल में आप सस्पेंड हो गए तो समटाइम, इसका मतलब ये है कि आपके लिए एफसीसीए की रिक्वायरमेंट जो है वो मीट नहीं हो सकी. अब आपको फर्दर 5 साल स्पेंड करने होंगे टू मीट द एफसीसीए स्टैटस. So if you read the words carefully now, FCCA status requires you to be a member in good standing for 5 consecutive years after your membership status. So ये याद रखिए, इससे आपको बहुत ज़्यादा गाइडेंस मिलेगी. First 5 years are very important. Be very careful regarding your suspension status, etc. Remain an active member. उसामा के क्वेश्चंस हैं अबाउट सब्सक्रिप्शन. उसामा देखें, इफ यू आर सेइंग कि ये सब्सक्रिप्शन अमाउंट बहुत ज़्यादा है और 10-12,000, तो स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्डली इन फॉर दिस पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड about 30 to 40% of the members are paying reduced subscription. 30% is the current figure, right? And do you know that जो बाकी कंट्रीज हैं जहाँ पर इनकम लेवल डिफरेंट हैं या वो पाउंड में अर्न करते हैं, वहाँ पर ये जो परसेंटेज है ये 1% से भी नीचे है. इसका मतलब ये है कि ये रिड्यूस सब्सक्रिप्शन पॉलिसी पर्टिकुलरली इसलिए बनाई गई है ताकि उन कंट्रीज में जहाँ पर मेंबर्स का की अर्निंग लेवल कम है ना उनकी कोई फैसिलिटेशन की जा सके. बट सेकेंडली माय फ्रेंड, ये जो 6 डिजिट्स प्रोग्राम है, में हम सजीद और मैं हम अक्सर ये चीज़ डिस्कस भी करते हैं और ये मेंबर्स को हम लोग जो सेशंस रन करते हैं योर ट्रू अर्निंग पोटेंशियल वाले, उसके अंदर हम मेंबर्स को बताते भी हैं देयर आर 2 वेज ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट. या वो जो ग्लास हाफ फुल वाली फिलॉसफी है उसी को अगर आप देखें, तो अगर आपको फुल ग्लास चाहिए है, राइट, तो कोशिश ये भी हो सकती है कि आप अपना इनकम इतनी ज़्यादा बढ़ा लें या आप अपनी सैलरी इतने लेवल पे अचीव करें कि आपको ये अमाउंट पे करते हुए दुश्वारी नहीं हो. लेकिन जिस लेवल तक हम लोगों ने इसको वर्कआउट किया हुआ है, विच इज 1 लाख रुपीज अ मंथ तक, इफ यू आर अर्निंग अप टू 1 लाख रुपीज अ मंथ, दैट मीन्स उस लेवल के नीचे नीचे जितने मेंबर्स हैं वो सब रिड्यूस सब्सक्रिप्शन अवेल कर सकते हैं. तो प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट. और रिड्यूस सब्सक्रिप्शन अवेल करने का मतलब ये है कि आपकी सब्सक्रिप्शन 50% पे रिड्यूस हो जाती है, विच मीन्स 129 पाउंड्स पे आ जाती है. ओके. अगर आपको कुछ फर्दर इसके मुतालिक क्वेश्चन करना है, यू हैव माय कांटेक्ट डिटेल, मुझे आप डायरेक्टली कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. बेहतर ये है फ़ोन कॉल कर लें और व्हाट्सएप मैसेज पे अगर आप चाहें तो व्हाट्सएप भी कर सकते हैं, लेकिन बेहतर ये है कि मुझे फ़ोन पे कांटेक्ट करें. चलें जी, let's now head towards our business model, today's conversation on business model. Let's very quickly uh, look at the outcome of the unmoderated session. So मैं इस सेशन में कुछ देर के लिए मौजूद था एंड आई heard the conversations happening. What do you generally feel? Do you have a good grasp of the business model canvas? Were some of you able to present their business model canvas effectively? There were some discussions going on between the two groups that they did not fully get hold of or get get the concept of the business model. In and there were some individuals asking कि हम सजीद से कहते हैं कि इनको इसको दोबारा repeat कर दें. So let's first of all see कि क्या outcome, क्या चीज, क्या आप लोगों ने gather किया था from the unmoderated session. So by show of hands, if you can let me know who will like to speak on behalf of the group. Raise hand. अरसलान इफ्तिखार जंजुआ का क्वेश्चन मैं जरूर आंसर करूंगा जी, मैं टाइप करके आंसर कर दूंगा. लेट्स further our conversation. So we're talking about the business model canvas and your unmodeled session. How did the session go? What were the takeaways? What were the learnings? I still don't see any hand raises. Waiting. All right, we have hand raises now. Okay, so can we begin with Tehmina? Tehmina, you're always there to speak up on behalf of the members. So I'm unmuting you, and then the rest of the individuals also very quickly, please. Yes, Tehmina, I have unmuted you. Yes,
Yes, on behalf of the group, I would like to say that business model canvas ko leke there was lack of clarity. कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा rigid थे because they were not clear कि how many types of business model canvas can we actually use. और secondly उनको apply भी नहीं करना आया था. और I guess there was also a lack of clarity भी थी. और I guess research भी काफी लोगों ने नहीं की हुई थी. They were actually not prepared. उसमें अब ये वाली चीजें भी हम पॉइंट आउट कर सकते हैं कि क्योंकि सब लोगों का ये था ओपिनियन कि शायद आगे जाके बिजनेस मॉडल कैनवस सिखाया जाएगा, सो दे वर रिलाइंग ऑन दैट फैक्ट. इसीलिए भी इंतजार में रहे कि शायद आगे जाके सीखने को मिलेगा, देन वी विल बी एबल टू मोर अप्रोप्रिएटली प्रिपेयर द बिजनेस कैनवस मॉडल. तो उसमें थोड़ी सी एम्बिग्विटी भी थी, एक रीजन. और कुछ में ये भी थी कि दे वर नॉट केपेबल ऑफ गिविंग द अप्रोप्रिएट टाइम, और लैक ऑफ क्लैरिटी भी और लैक ऑफ नॉलेज भी थी डेफिनेटली.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Tehmina. Let's now speak with Hassan Soleh. Hassan, आपका क्या opinion है? What was the finding so far?
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. So मेरे ख्याल से जो लास्ट फ्राइडे का सेशन किया था वो काफ़ी हेल्पफुल था, क्योंकि इट इज़ लाइक द फर्स्ट टाइम कि हमने जो है वो दूसरे लोगों के मेंबर्स के आइडियाज़ हैं उनको हमने कैनवस में देखा. सो एक जो चैलेंज थोड़ा सा फेस हुआ था हमें वो ये था कि जिस तरह हमने पिछले एक्सरसाइज की थी हमने ओपा की, तो उसमें लोगों ने अपना जो है एक पर मंथ का गोल सेट किया था, उस पर वर्कआउट किया था कि हमें पर मंथ में क्या करना है. और जैसे मुझे लगा एक जनरली कि लोगों का माइंडसेट थोड़ा सा जो है वो जॉब्स की तरफ है, और उन्होंने अपने जॉब से रिलेटेड गोल सेट किया. तो जब हम लोग शिफ्ट होकर बिजनेस कैनवस मॉडल की तरफ आए तो बहुत सारे लोगों को जो है आई थिंक थोड़ा सा इशू हुआ कि एक डायरेक्शन से दूसरे बिजनेस की डायरेक्शन में चेंज होना. तो क्या ये जो बिजनेस कैनवस मॉडल है हम लोग इसको स्टिल जॉब के उसमें भी यूज कर सकते हैं, या इट इज स्पेसिफिक टू दोज ओनली कि जिन्होंने बिजनेस की लाइन को चूज किया हुआ है? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good question. We'll put that up to Sajid. Mohammad Arshad, you've raised your hand, so please go on.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum, Harun. I think the session was very good. We should realize that all members are at different level of understanding of the model. मैं तहमीना से agree करूँगा कि there were some people who were rigid to the model. Model is a scratch board. It's just to give you a scratch starting point to understand what you need to think about your objective and goal. तो वहाँ पे कुछ लोग rigidity का मुजाहरा कर रहे थे, लेकिन मेरा ख्याल है कि it was good. People have at least starting to understand what it is and how we use it.
Okay, all right, great, thank you very much. So I think the general feeling about the feedback that we've received about the previous session is that there is further clarity required. So how rigidly do we apply the model? Is it particular to businesses, or can people apply it to jobs as well? So we can take that conversation from here. Sajid, if you are in the call, if you can take on the discussion from here.
Thank you, Aaron. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Okay, great. So I think congratulations if it has created a confusion. So that's when we have started thinking and we started realizing that in the world there are other things which we might not be aware of, and we might have to see things with a different perspective. So it's not the right and wrong thing. It's just that there are other perspective which exist out there. So yeah, हम जिसको कहते हैं ना what else वाला जो concept है, so that comes across very strongly. फॉर्चुनेटली जब हमने स्टूडेंट्स के साथ सेशन किया था तो उनके साथ हमने सिमिलर सेशन बिजनेस मॉडल कैनवस पे हमने उनको पूरी एक्सरसाइज करवाई थी बिजनेस मॉडल कैनवस की, बट वी डिडंट डू दैट फॉर मेंबर्स with the assumption that the members have got way superior idea because they are working most of the time, so they have a superior idea and the deep understanding कि business के components होते क्या क्या हैं. But what I'm hearing here, I think it would be good if we give you the similar refresher, क्योंकि आप लोग it might be possible you are so consumed in your work कि आपके लिए उन चीजों को recall करना थोड़ा सा इस वक्त challenge हो. So let's go back to that one, but then I need 1 or 2 volunteers who are willing to share their idea, और उनके idea को अभी हम run around करेंगे business model canvas से. Is it something you feel is worth? Because इसके बाद जो होगा then you have to put your idea, and I would like to have your business model canvas. और अगर किसी ने बनाया हुआ है and they are willing to share, we are happy with that. Anybody who already had a business model canvas, किसी ने बनाया हुआ, हम उसी को as an example ले लेते हैं. Anybody who has a business model canvas, कोई अपना जो idea share करना है, क्योंकि you have to understand ideas of Malik Shehbaz and Tahmina. So let's start with Malik Shehbaz. Are you interested to share that one? अगर हम आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करें तो आप अपना कैनवस पे अगर आपने चीजें कैप्चर की हुई हैं तो लेट्स इवैल्यूएट दैट एंड देन वी ऑल लर्न टुगेदर. Okay, thank you. Malik Shehbaz sir, can you send, and at the same time Tahmina, if you can send your business model canvas to Nizam. Nizam, if you can share your email so people can send that one. Okay, great. So we have got 2 business model canvas, and then I think we have enough time to thresh it out.
My email address will be members.pk@gmail.com.
आप टाइप कर दीजिए.
Right, sir.
मैं let me type it. members.pk at, please आप अगर निजाम रिपीट कर दें.
I don't think that's correct, Nizam. Is it not accmembers.pk?
accmembers.
Yeah.
At
my apologies.
Gmail.
जी sir, it's on the screen. मैंने टाइप कर दिया है, नजर आ रहा होगा इनको for sure. accmembers.pk@gmail.com.
Okay. So if you reply, let me reply back that it would be visible to everybody. members.pk@gmail.com. So I send it out. So अगर आप दोनों इसको reply कर दें, that would be great. Malik Shehbaz and Tahmina. And meanwhile, we can take a 1 or 2 minute break. Nizam, आपके पास जैसे ही आता है, if you can bring it up. पहले Malik Shehbaz का, and then we will go with Tahmina.
Got it, sir. So we have the one from Malik Shabasir.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so let's see what we have got here. So value proposition. Okay, do one thing, निजाम आप मुझे भी ईमेल कर देते हैं क्योंकि ये वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन काफी बड़ी हो गई है यहाँ पे.
जी सर मैंने कर दिया.
Okay, but let me open from my email as well. Okay, I got it. So Malik Shabazz, if you can let us know what you are trying to deliver here as a value proposition and for whom. So if I can unmute you, if you can raise your hand and we can unmute and then we can take you forward. Okay, you are self-muted. So you can unmute Malik Shabazz and then we can take it forward.
Assalamu alaikum. So what the business is about, or what I'm thinking at the moment, is to set up accountancy and from a consultancy business. So I'm planning to have presence in 3 locations: one Islamabad, second Doha, and third London. So I have worked in London for about 20 years. I have resigned from a head of finance role in a multinational company. So idea is like just divert myself from the job market to the business. So set up a back office support function in Pakistan and provide the back office support initially to my business, our business, family business in Qatar, and then set up another enhanced backup office support, and then start picking up the business from Qatar and England. So bring the business over here. So we'll have a presence over there. Eventually, case of a setup of audit practice in Qatar and then an audit practice in the UK.
Okay, so let me put a challenge there first. So
Right.
what is your value proposition? What you are going to offer? It's accounting and consulting services.
It at a reduced cost, because that's what the challenge is. What I'm seeing in London and what I'm seeing in Doha, businesses are struggling, especially after the COVID, and they are looking at the opportunities to reduce
Okay,
the
now
cost. So
let's stick there. So it's this accounting and advisory services at a low cost.
at a low cost and quality services, like
Yeah, so quality services of accounting and transaction advisory, let me see, at a low cost.
yes,
So the cost and the quality, these are the 2 value proposition you are offering.
these are the key focuses across the 3 markets.
Okay, so now in a value proposition, it has to be very simple, straightforward. Like value proposition में अगर आपको इतनी details देनी पड़े ना, इसका मतलब है you are not clear. So you can come
It
up
is
with
correct.
Yeah, one very clear articulation in a value proposition is a one-stop shop for the quality services of all accounting finance need at a low cost. Full stop,
It is correct.
right?
It is
And then
definitely.
when you talk about Qatar and UK, these are the customer segments. To whom?
These are the, like in Qatar, it is a mix, like my family business is my priority. So I do, at the moment,
So
we have got people working there. So I will be making them redundant and bringing the business here because
so
it's not
not a
giving
good
me
thing.
what I want.
It's not a good thing to do the redundancy these days. But let's come to the
Uh,
customer segment,
yes. And
right?
the
So
second thing is business people, general business people.
yeah, so let's come step by step so we can take everybody together.
Right,
So
sir.
it's a one-stop shop of quality accounting and finance services at a low cost. And then we go to the customer segment, and the first customer segment is your family business in Qatar. That's a one
It is
segment.
correct.
Then there's another one is a family business in UK, or it's a third party.
It's a third party in UK.
Okay.
UK
So third
will
party
be main
in UK.
focus.
Okay. So family business in Qatar, and then third parties in UK. And
So
what
there,
kind of third
so
party? Is it a SME, or it's a large organization? It's who you want to focus on.
so initially it will be small customers. That's what I will be targeting because few of my friends, they run their audit firms over there. So I have got high hopes they will help me outsourcing the accounting functions of few of their clients initially. And eventually in 2 years time, what I'm planning to buy a block of income or firm over there. That would be the
Okay, that's
ultimate
fine.
object.
So now the first thing is the first customer segment, family's business in Qatar. Second business segment is SME in UK,
SME.
right?
Yes.
So now come to the distribution channel, that how you are really gonna like distribute, or let me put it, I'll not use the word distribution channel, let's use the word channel here. So your sales channel is your own personal relationship with the family. So it's a one-to-one, we call it a direct sale. Second,
It
for
is
UK,
direct.
you will be leveraging your network, friends and family to capture that business, right? So that's your distribution
It is.
network,
It is. It is.
right? And then there will be additional network, additional distribution channel, or a channel you will use. You will acquire the existing practices in UK to
It is correct.
expand.
Yes. Yes.
So step one is the direct sales. Step two is friends and family in UK. Step three is the channel where you will be
Acquisition.
acquiring acquisition,
Yes.
the channel. So let's put it, these three here in a distribution channel. How you will manage the customer relationship?
It is like I would need presence over there, so I will be getting professional services over there. Or initially, my friends will who have got presence or who will be handing over the business to me. So I will work. I've got in arrangement with some of them working on 80-20 rule. So they will manage if there is a site visit required or any meeting required, they will go to the client and they will do the marketing as well.
Okay, so from a customer, that's still the sales channel. Like if you're talking about the management, the relationship is more around how you will retain the customer. So you will be delivering services from Pakistan, and
Yes.
you will be expanding that relationship by offering maybe additional services, bundling, and you will maintain like frequent visits, or you just maintain it through email. I don't know. So right, so you have to
I
see
will
that
be visiting.
how
I
visiting
will
them.
be there on the quarterly basis for sure. And also, eventually, I will have a office in Doha and London.
So you will have a physical, initially the digital presence, and then the physical presence.
Physical presence. And main model is like if I can set up a support service in here, in that is the time, 2 years time, then I will move back to London. So that's where I will be there most of the time. So I will have strong team in Pakistan to manage the back office. So I will be working at the front end.
Okay. So that comes to the customer relationship and what you need to deliver that, key resources or key activity. Let's get to the key activities first. So you need the back office support, you need employees, and then you will be,
that is
the employees will come to the resources. So it's practically training and development of your team, and then data punching, I would say, filing some reports, filing some corporate documents, providing tax solution, and providing IT, HR, and other solutions as well, maybe. And the key resources which you are looking at is employees in Pakistan, then partnerships in Qatar and UK, some software, hardware, that's fine. You need some capital, yes, yeah, that's what you need. And once it's come to the key partnerships, you have to see employees are not the partnership, customer is the not the key partnerships here. Customer will stay in a customer relation and the customer segmentation side. Key partnerships, you need maybe lawyers, yes, law firms, other firms, as well as some IT vendors, maybe some software vendors, maybe, right? So these are the key partnerships you need. And then you will come down to the cost and the revenue. So I'll not pick up cost and revenue. That's you have to work out. So let's go back to the fundamentals. So you have got the pieces there, but to reflect the thought process in the right way, number one, simplify your value proposition. Right now, it has got some of the customers, some of the value proposition. So we have to simplify it. So you have to think hard how you can talk about your value proposition maybe in 10, 15, 20, max 30 words. And
so
that's
I
talk
had
about the value proposition, not the customer, not the how-to part, just the value proposition.
So I had a very good conversation with Amina earlier, and what her suggestion was, which is very valid, like I need to break it into the 3 canvas models rather than 1, because all my plan is in 3 phases, and that's very valid suggestion, and that's what I will be working on during this week, breaking it further and signifying the value proposition as you have highlighted, and making it more relevant and separating the whole to operational side of it. So it is an initial thinking. So hopefully it will purify.
You may not have to really move it into 3 value proposition. I think the Qatar and UK will be the different customer segment with the same value proposition. It's the same value proposition which is delivered to the different customer base.
It is slightly different, sir, because in Qatar, in Middle East, like the business is done on the Wasta basis. Who do you know, rather than
no, that's the channel.
That's the channel, and over there, like hopefully on the basis of some context, I might be able to get some business. So over there, it is the quality service.
Yeah.
Whereas
so
UK, is
you are delivering the same quality services.
Yes.
It's a quality services. It's just that how you will acquire customer may be different. In Qatar, it would be Vasta. In UK, it would be certain references and then the acquisition.
Marketing.
Right. So,
it is correct.
So it's around how you will acquire that. So that's your either customer relationship thing or a distribution channel, how you will do the sales. So it's a same. Practically, when you acquire a customer, you give the same value, offer the same value proposition. It's a one-stop for the quality services around finance and accounting at a low cost. So that's something which is the same value proposition which you will offer to the people regardless how you acquire them. And then in UK, you have very specifically focusing on SME to start with. So just refer that SME will have a different kind of pricing compared to if you go for a multinational companies, and they will have a different kind of pricing as well as the resource requirement. So if I were you, I'll simplify the value proposition. I pick the Qatar and UK in a customer segment, and then the way I'm going to approach customer, I'll put it in a distribution channel because it's my sales strategy. And then how I'm going to keep and retain the customer in terms of the regular relationships, whether it's physical visits, it's a digital visits, it's a content marketing, it's keep top up the value proposition every time, start throwing some freebies maybe at off and on. So these are the things what you will do to maintain the customer relationship. Right. And then you have to really figure out the key activities.
Yes. As usual. I just need to simplify them. Take the noise out.
Right. So now it can simplify, and then the partnerships you can really come up. Qatar mein kya chahiye, UK mein kya chahiye, Pakistan mein kya chahiye, partnerships aapko. Resources, I think you are pretty clear what you need there. Activities, you have to really market that you will acquire a customer. That's one activity. Second activity, you will understand the scope of the services. You will assign those services to some supervisor maybe, and then the supervisor will continue to serve that person or that entity over the period. Then there is a certain training and development which is required as a key activity, and then there's a marketing is a one of a key activity. You might need to travel and meet customer. That's one of the key activities, and those activities will end up with the resources where you need some capital, you need some softwares, you may need some web page, and maybe a graphic designers, I don't know, and some employees who will actually for which you are selling the time.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Anybody who wants to add anything here, like where you feel we can do better, so you can suggest something in the question box, and that will help Shehbaz to further improve and also for us to learn. There's a question from Mohammed Arshad: why you want to set up the back office in Pakistan?
It is the quality resource at comparatively low cost, and we cannot beat that. And
okay, so it's a quality and availability of resources. Mirza, why as big is challenging, the value proposition is not compelling. Do you agree, Shehbaz?
I am just talking on the basis of my experience, because an accountant pay in Qatar is about 6,000 Riyal to about 25,000 Riyal, whereas in UK, accountant pay starts from 35,000 per annum. So if I am gonna offer them at 6,000, I'm sure, and offer them the similar service. So having the knowledge of the market on that basis, I'm saying it is compelling when you go and market. And it will refine definitely when I start actively seeking the clients.
I think that's a very valid point. It's when we start with a certain value proposition, over the period it evolves. But you have to understand what was the fundamental where you started. For example, you cannot compromise on the quality of service. You cannot compromise on a one-stop shop. You can't ask them to do 10 different things with the 10 different vendors. You have to be a one single face, and you can't compromise on the quality of cost. It might be possible from a finance and accounting, you end up more business coming from a payroll or IT or HR side. So that's quite possible. Like your product or proposition in terms of what you need to sell as a bouquet may change, but I think if you keep that fundamental value proposition, that may work. Second value proposition could be, I'm not going to sell it over the period, how it could evolve. I'm not going to sell it on low cost, rather I'll charge high, but I'll bring different kind of expertise in a specific niche, and I'll not work with SME. Rather than I'll change my customer segment to the fintech companies who are looking for algorithm development for the financial transaction, like payments, like microcredit and the micro insurances and all that. and you can set up the same back office which does not provide the data entry and the financial statement, but they provide you step by step the algorithms for fintech development. So that could be another way how it may evolve going forward, because those resources and that kind of work is very expensive if somebody want to get it done in UK or even Qatar. And our kids are very good with the accounting, particularly people who are coming with the ACCA background. They are very good in terms of the structural linear thinking, which is required in terms of the algorithm design. It's not a, like, I'm not praising them. Linear thinking is not something which I literally praise, but I think that's one of a quality which they can bring on the table. So that's how the value proposition will evolve. And then rather than in UK, you are looking at the customer segment of the SME, you might look at the customer segment of the tech companies who require the understanding of the financial transaction. Somebody who is working on a blockchain development or a use case of the blockchain. So you as a backend, you can provide those kind of services.
It is correct, sir. But the key, what I have learned through my case of a research, I need to have a back office to show something. I'm standing on something, and then we can definitely dip into the different sectors, different markets.
Anybody has any other comment? Tariq Khan, revenue stream is the last thing, and the costs are the last thing you might look at. But I think Burhanuddin has got a very good point that low balling in audit is prohibited.
Yes, initially I will be outsourcing from the companies rather than going direct.
Exactly. So Burhanuddin, the audit company might be charging the same fee. It's just that rather than delivering it on site, they might be doing some of the work off site using resources sitting in Pakistan. Anybody else, any comment? How will he manage external auditing buying? Akib, he doesn't have to do that. There are auditors sitting in UK or Qatar. They can outsource some of the work here, and it's already happening, by the way. There's a lot of work. But ACC has got 10,000 firms across Europe, and a lot of those firms do not have a capacity to really have all the resources available, particularly in today's world, on site, and they outsource a lot of work where in today's world you just have to need a software to download the entire transaction data of the client, and somebody can really review that, or a software can review and give you the highlights that where the anomalies or potential anomalies exist, and you can do a further verification digitally. You don't have to be physically there. A digital audit is a very much reality in today's world. Even ACCA Pakistan very recently has gone through the digital audit in Pakistan.
That is the future. Yes.
Yep. Hassan, yes, Hassan, you are saying that is there a particular order to follow in a business model canvas? Yes, there is a model. So you start with the value proposition and you look at that value proposition and the customer segment link. These are the first equation you have to resolve, that what value proposition you are offering to whom, and you keep like इसी को आप थोड़ा सा reiterate करते रहते हैं, इसी के दरमियान थोड़ा सा आप घूमते रहते हैं, तो आपकी clarity आती है value proposition and the customer segment. You keep asking yourself what else and so what, and that gives you a clarity. Once you clarify that one, then you get into the channel, like how you're gonna make your sales happen. And then once you acquired that sale, how you're gonna keep that customer with you, that comes under the customer relationship. And from there you come to the key activities, and from key activities you go to the key partnerships, and at seventh you come to the key resources. And once you go to the key resources, after that you start talking about the revenue stream, and then you talk about the cost structure as the last item. So the cost, which normally one as an accountant, when we start thinking, the cost is the first thing we think about, but in a business, cost is the last thing you look at. If the value proposition is compelling enough and you have got the entire activities, resources, and the partnerships in place, your pricing strategy is right, then you have to figure out how you will deliver it in a cost which make profit. Akib, I'm not sure how you look at the current collaboration model. A lot of activity you don't have to do by yourself. If somebody has to do a physical count, you can outsource that. Anybody can go and do it who is competent and qualified enough to do the stock count and bring those sheets back to you for audit purposes. Right? So there are a lot of new ways to think about it. We just have to let go that अगर मैं ये काम करूंगा तो सही होगा, अगर कोई और करेगा तो नहीं होगा, या हर चीज मुझे physically करनी है. There are a lot of softwares, by the way, you can use. I'm not sure, it might be too wild. You might choose to use drone for stock counting with the RF scanners, and the drone can just move in a warehouse, and with the RF scanner they can scan what exactly written on the different aisles, and they can pick up the quantity, they can count optically. That's exactly what you do when you go physically. You use your eyes, you go read something, you record something. If a drone is there with the right kind of camera, they can really do all those things on your behalf, and you can have a live stock count while you are sitting maybe in Pakistan. So there are a lot of new ways to think about it, and that business model, outsourcing is a business model now. It has to be very, very clear that what value proposition you are going to offer to whom, whether your customer segment. In SME, you will never use the drone. You can't even afford it, and they can't afford the cost of stock count in such a way. So thank you, Malik Shabazz. Thank you for sharing it, and I think now we will evolve it further, and we will come back to that. Temina,
thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Temina, if you are okay, if you raise your hand, and we can get you unmuted, and thank you. Great, you are on a self mute, so you can unmute yourself. And Nizam, if you can bring the business model canvas for them. Umair, I think it's always good once you start with the one market, and then you should be very clear what the next market you would like to go in. Without knowing that, आपको अपना growth path नहीं पता होता sometimes, so there's no harm in planning it earlier. But I totally agree. Focus on one market, one customer segment, mature it, learn it. We call it a pilot mode, and then scale it. Or once you go for scaling, go all the way, whichever country or geographical location you have identified otherwise. Okay, so we can see a lot of colors here, which is good. And okay, I got that as well. So over to you, Tamina, if you can share, and Nizam, if you can make it at least the big enough so people can read it.
Yes. So should I start?
Sure.
Yeah. So the model I have picked to start the work is the lean business model, basically, to give an idea about what I want to achieve and to have clarity about the value proposition. As you can see, the focus mainly here is on the value proposition. That's why how I reached this value proposition was through identifying the problems, finding the solutions, and then finding the unique value proposition, and also assessing my unfair advantage. So this is the Ashmore lean business model that I have used here. The next step will be the business canvas model in detail. So this is the first step I have covered here.
Okay. No, I
So
think
the first thing,
that's
yeah,
quite clear. So I think that when we are talking about the value proposition, and there are different models or canvases which are available, and what I love about this one is to really figure out the unfair advantage. What unfair advantage you have. It might look a negative terminology, but that's exactly what we are looking in a value proposition, that why your value proposition and for whom you have that value proposition and where you are competitive compared to anybody else, why it's unique for you. So yeah, Tamina, please come to the next level. So this is a value proposition for whom. Can we go to the customer segment?
Yes. Um, it has to be moved. Yeah, now we can
Yeah.
see that. So the customer segment is startup businesses who are planning to start. They haven't started yet. Existing and potential freelancers, fresh graduates, and job seekers.
Okay.
I have also done
Sorry.
a geographical coverage of the customer segments, but that's separate, and that will be covered in the detailed business model canvas.
But right now, just for everybody's understanding, we are looking at Pakistan or we are looking at the global?
No, Pakistan,
Pakistan to start with.
because
Okay.
that's my unfair advantage right now.
Yeah. No, you have got that global unfair advantage. It's a global ACCA capability, and believe me, wherever you have a young population who start, like we are
Yes,
talking
sure.
India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Africa, they have got more or less the similar
Yes.
behavior. So you have got
Uh,
that advantage.
Yes, but the unfair advantage I'm talking about is the ACC community that is connected to me, that has my
Okay.
reliability, that they already know me and believe in my rely on my success stories. So that's the ACC
True.
community
Very,
I have picked
very.
up.
Okay, great. And how you gonna approach them? Through Zoom, Teams, WhatsApp, Meet, so all digital mediums
No,
or social
social
gathering
gathering and
as well,
corporate events as well.
corporate events as well. Yeah, yeah, great. And if we come to the key activities, Dizam, if you can move it a little bit. So
I
this is
haven't
the
covered the key
solution.
activity. Yeah, this
That's
is the
fine.
lean
So we
business
can
model.
go with, yeah, we can go with the solution. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the solution is?
The first problem identified was that there is a greater uncertainty in the market related to the startups. So the solution will be to provide them one-stop shop for idea to execution. And the second key activity will be the evaluation program that I will be designing for them. Then the market assessment training will be provided to them in order for them to develop the skills to assess the market, whether it is feasible to launch their product or not. Validated learning to refine vision, because the key element of a business startup is their vision. If the vision is not clear, then you might end up altering your visions again and again. However, the process should be that the vision should be clear and fixed, then the strategy should be pivotal, and the product should be able to evolve. So that's where I will be providing them the validated learning. Then I will give them the introduction to build, measure, lean technique. Personal development programs and success stories and references will be provided to them in order to enhance their reliability. So I'm going to
Great.
build those success stories and references.
And let's come to how you're gonna measure. So these are the also normally if you are in a standard one. So these are also some of the activities how you will be measuring it.
Exactly.
So we will come back there. And normally, if I create that one, these metrics either I put it in a cost or I put it in a revenue. That the conversion of inquiry into client. So this is the percentage I need, number of successful client and number, and then multiply it with the rate to calculate revenue. So we can put it on a different way. So my suggestion would be use, at least for this exercise for 6 stages, use a standardized one.
Right.
One business model that would be easier for everybody to relate to.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I will convert this into the business model canvas. This was just for my basic development of the unique value proposition. I had to be clear that what is the unfair advantage I have and whether my value proposition is actually unique or not. So it helped me to devise that, to get specific.
and, and I would invite you to share the problem statement you came up with. I think that's a, when we are creating a value proposition, that is basically a solution to a problem for a certain group of people, right? So
Yes.
I think this when Tamina is working on the value proposition, so she is trying using this model. She is trying to really define the problem in a way which can be converted into a value proposition. That where is the problem for whom, and then you can
Yes.
create the customer segmentation and the link with the value proposition there. So if you can
Yes.
just come up with that, Tamina, if you can share with people a little bit around the value proposition, sorry, the problem you identified.
Yeah, the first problem that I identified in the my customer segment was no result oriented guidance. I mean, the customers are usually looking for results. They are not into getting guidance about, the theory. They are not interested in the subjective things. They actually want to produce some results. So there is a large amount of uncertainty in the guidance they get. So they want their uncertainty to be reduced to some extent, although they are aware most of the times that the uncertainty cannot be eliminated. So this was a major problem that I have seen in the customers. Lack of clarity on what, why, and how. It's a issue of everybody in our circle and every in the whole world, I would say. So
Are
that's
you
another
sure
issue.
this is a problem that people are not very clear on what and why? Do you think it's a problem?
Yes.
Any evidence
Uh,
to recent team?
if I say I would provide myself as an evidence, I have a deep insight into human behaviors. I have also done a certification of psychology, but when it came to myself, I was unable to identify that what was the reason that I was going for a job and not expanding my own business or looking to diversify my business, but I was going for a job. So I was unable to understand that. I understood, and whatever factors I considered were actually not relevant. So this session made me realize the facts that no matter how much human behavior insight you have, no matter how much uh, experience you have, when it comes to one's own self, you're very much unaware of many facts that relate to yourself. So I guess there is a lack of clarity, and I have seen it in my daily life.
Okay, and you are not referring to the rest of the people in here in the session right now, where you have seen some of these examples.
Uh,
Particularly if we come to the
No,
second part
I'm
is
referring
lack
to
of
the
doing an
no, I'm referring to the mostly I'm referring to the startup businesses that I've seen around in my experience.
What about the people right now you are working with as a group? Do you see this problem here as well?
Do you want me to be honest?
I think that's why we call 6 digits and we have only 100 hours. We can't afford to not to be candid.
Okay, then I will say yes.
So anybody agrees with Tamina here? So Avas Beg agrees with you. Yeah, you got Mohammed Arshad agrees with. But that's very true. And it has nothing to do with you or ACCA. I think it goes back to again our fundamental as a parent, as a society, as an education institute, as a teacher, how we have evolved over the period, where we have stopped using vision as a guiding principle, and we are using our how-to part or relationship to get the things done without knowing what we are doing and why we are doing it. So these are the things which somehow is missing, and at some point of time. And then the second part, which is again missing in our culture, and that's not
Yes.
only in Pakistan, it's in India, Sri Lanka. We don't
Yeah.
go and have session with the psychiatrist. Like
Yes.
we don't have, and those psychiatrist sessions with the psychiatrist is not meant that you have some problem. That's only help you professionally to understand yourself and your own aspirations. We don't have a coaching as a coaching as a one of a key skill either among teachers and parents in general. And coaching is not the primary conversational style which we use generally, कि हम लोगों को जवाब ना दें बल्कि हम उनको सवाल के जब बदले सवाल पूछें. लेट्स एक बच्चा आके मुझसे पूछे कि ये मून येलो क्यों है, so मैं उसको बताऊं कि ये सन की रिफ्लेक्शन है, blah blah blah, rather than I ask what do you think about it.
Uh,
Right,
exactly.
so there are two ways to, we are very tempted to give a right answer, rather than
Very true.
helping a person to build the answers themselves. So these are the coaching style questions. So we have stopped doing that over the period. और वो फिर हमें हमारे लिए end में in a real life in a practical world वो हमें clarity miss करते हैं, वो motivation को lead करती है, और sometimes हम चीजों के fundamentals को understand नहीं कर पाते. So I think
Yes, we call the
it's a
spoon feeding
yeah,
approach.
exactly, spoon feeding to the extreme extent, I would say,
Exactly.
जिसमें जिसमें वो जो है ना वो मुंह भी जबरदस्ती खोलना पड़ता है और डालना डालना भी फीड भी करना पड़ता है.
True.
So it's a very extreme form of
Exactly.
spoon feeding. It's just not
Yes.
that we just bring a spoon near to the mouth and the person will open it.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't work.
Right. Very true.
Okay, but thank you, Tamina, for sharing. Any suggestion and any guidance or anything where you want more clarity or you want to object that this is not the right business, and if you say so, why you say so, that it's not the right value proposition, or you can come back, nobody is going to pay for that. So it may be a wishful thinking, but it's not a business. It could be a passion, it could be one of a hobby, because that's also important to really understand whether it's a hobby or it's a real business. Real business require real money coming in, and there has to be enough customers out there to pay for it. Suggestion. So Mirza Westlake came back with minimum input with maximum output in terms of value proposition. What does it mean then?
Yeah. A minimum input with maximum output, that comes from the concept. जैसे कि for example, most of the people invest a lot in their infrastructure, and they expect more from that infrastructure and that initial investment. So the main point here that I will be teaching them is that my unique value proposition, that I will be guiding them how to go about with minimum investment. Let's suppose I will give them an idea of how to start a business under 1 million. So there will be minimum input with maximum output, means a profit target that will give you to test your capacity how to generate profits with a minimum amount of resources. If you learn that technique, I guess you can make any business successful.
Great, thank you. And there's another question. Arshad, I think when we are talking about that, there is a problem. That's the way you come to the value proposition. I think there was a one question by Muhammad Arshad. That's a problem. What is the solution? The solution is the value proposition. And how will we manage customer expectation in this case, as by providing such training, we are raising their expectation? So Akeb has got that question for you, Tamina.
Exactly. That's my value proposition. You got the answer actually. I am raising the customer expectation because I will be able to fulfill that. I am going to devise the sort of plan. I will be confident about it because I have experienced it. I have helped others to implement it. So, what I want for the customers is to raise their expectations and then test that, and then I will be proving that to them. So, that's what they're going to get from me, a higher expectation that will be met.
So thank you, Tabina. And I think for a 6 digit, that's exactly what we are trying to do. It's just that we are raising your expectation about yourself, that you can do better, you can do more, and you can really go for the dreams you have. So I think this is raising expectation is always important, but who is raising expectation of whom is always a question. So even if with this coaching style and the training and mentoring, sometimes you manage, and most of the time you manage to raise expectation of your mentee about themselves and their own abilities. There's another question from our merciful warrior: is partner without partnership in profit?
I didn't get that. Is a partner without partnership?
In profit, that's a wonderful value proposition you mentioned there.
Oh, partner without partnership in profit. That means that I will be a partner of the, if a client comes to me for a startup, I will prove to him that I will act as a partner for that startup client, but I won't be sharing his profits. So in a way, I will be guiding him through all the process like a partner, So he won't feel alone. He'll have a partner to discuss his ideas from incubation till the execution. And what added advantage that he's going to get is that he won't be paying me a profit share. So he won't be having the risk of losing his profits to the partner.
Mohammed Arshad has got another question where he's referring to that most of your business is based on a business model is based on your personal experience, and you might need to do a market-based research to support that idea. So that's one of a suggestion which is on the table. And
Yes, I have done market-based research from national incubation centers, and there are other incubation centers and other startup businesses that I have looked into how they're providing their services. I have even conducted a research by calling them and help trying to get advice from them. So I have looked into what the process they're following. So this whole process that I have noted down here is actually based by research.
And just to add that, when we are talking about a customer segment, which is startups, Mohammed Rashid, the first thing which they are looking for is a mentor. They are not looking for investment to start with. They always look for a mentor which can help them to clarify the vision, ideas, execution, their own business model, and then most importantly, their confidence among in the team and the idea as well. So that's very normal. Every incubation center hire people, and sometimes incubation center is the one which pays to the mentor to come and select mentees and provide some time. This is a, by the way, very highly paid job in the world, where you work with the incubation center as mentor, you develop them, and the companies and the investor and the venture capital and the private equity one pick up those businesses and the business ideas which are mentored by a certain person. So there's a certain branding as well, which end up in a different kind of valuation for that business just because they were mentored by a certain person. So they believe the people who are gone through that process with a certain individual, they will do better. So there's a certain valuation gain based on the brand who's doing a mentorship for a certain group of people. Can you repeat the step to build? Burhanuddin, I'm not going to repeat that. You might have to Google it, and they are step by step. It's available. So you will find what there's a numbering as well. So you might find one either in a customer segment or a value proposition. So it's always in a 1 and 2 customer segment and the value proposition to start with. And then there's a, you will find, if you will Google it, you will find the filled one as well. You can find a lot of documents which help you to really read it in a different way. So again, we love spoon feeding, but not in 6 digits. So you might have to Google it. And there's a lot of, the advantage of going for Google is that you will see a different examples, you will see a different perspectives as well. Right now you are going with a one perspective or a perspective of the group, but once you will Google it, you will find more perspective around it. Okay, great. Anyone who wants to share their business idea, and let's try to fill the business model canvas right then and there. Nizam, if we can bring, thank you Tamina for sharing. And Nizam, if we can upload the blank one. You remember we shared last time with the students, so if we can have that one available. Anyone who is interested in sharing idea? Kindly raise your hand and I'll unmute and we will use that as a one of our examples. Muhiz Khan. By the way, Muhiz has recommended a very good video, and Muhiz, you can share it in these question box as well. That would be helpful for other people to go through. Unfortunately, we couldn't share it today, but I think that was a very good video to start with. So Muhiz, you are unmuted. So we have got a business model canvas in front of us, and let's start with your business idea and let's try that which box will capture what.
Hello?
Gigi Maurice, we can hear you.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Okay. Sir, I have developed my own business. Yeah. I have done my own business model that is of developing a software house backup office here, and my display center or display center at US, and my key partners are software house. I have approached two companies. One is in Karachi based, and the other is of multiple cities, and their head office is also in Karachi. And my key activities will be providing creative design, digital marketing, mobile app application, and website and e-store development. And from data analysis side, we will develop a data analytics project, and my main customer relationship will be by interacting with social networking, online and in person, by attending seminars, business and as a CEO club, by on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and by providing quality services to the clients. And my customer segments will be small, medium enterprises who will start up their business, and they want their business to be market not only on digital platform, but they will have they have their or their company website developed, and other customer segment will be startup, entrepreneur, and e-commerce business. We will develop e-store development as a e-store development. So just like Daraz website, we all know, and all the e-commerce website we can develop. And for data driven, I am engaging a data driven companies who is working nowadays on a government sector, and they are the providers of the data of Corona pandemic. This तो उन्होंने जो है अपना कोरोना की जो पेंडेमिक जितने भी सारी वो इंफॉर्मेशन है पाकिस्तान की, वो डेवलप कर रहे हैं एक उस पे, और वो ना सिर्फ ये बल्कि नाउडेज दे आर वो जो है डाटा जो है जो मॉल्स और इसमें जो लोगों का आने जाने का जो वो है उसका भी वो डाटा डेवलप करके वो दे रहे हैं. So my key resources will be software house and big data house. My channels, distribution channels will be cloud based, क्योंकि मैं software develop करूँगा और बाहर से जो है foreign जो है उसमें foreign लोगों को दूंगा तो cloud based softwares होंगे. और जो मैं डिजिटल मार्केटिंग करूंगा वो चैनल्स जो होंगे वो फेसबुक, ट्विटर और पिंटरेस्ट होगा. एंड द ऐप एप्लीकेशन विल बी ऑन गूगल प्ले स्टोर पे हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल्स होंगे. एंड माय कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर विल बी, क्योंकि वहाँ जो है यूएस में एक जो है अलग से पूरा एक सेटअप करना पड़ेगा डिस्प्ले सेंटर के लिए, क्योंकि वहाँ
Maurice, just hold on.
Yeah.
We will come to the cost and revenue at the last time. So let me bring you back to the value proposition. हमें बताइए कि what is your value proposition which is not being offered by anybody else? Why people should come to you, and who are those people?
Sir, my value proposition क्योंकि अगर मैं creative design जो है मैं develop कर रहा हूँ, तो मैं क्रिएटिव आइडियाज जो है ना उसको लिंक करते हुए उनके लोगों की जो इमोशनल बिहेवियर्स है ना, जिस तरह से अगर आप देखें कि ईद मुबारक होती है, या आप देखें ईद जब आती है तो जितने भी यूनाइटेड किंग वाले या जितने भी बेकर्स होते हैं उनको एक जो है अपने फेसबुक पे एक ऐड चाहिए होता है जिसपे वो जो है एक उसकी तस्वीर होती है, मतलब ईद की किसी भी इवेंट की, और वो अपना एक डब्बा पैक जो है वो लेकर आते हैं। तो वो जब वो फेसबुक पे लगाएं तो लोग आके, खास तौर पे ये हो गया पाई इन द स्काई हो गया, यूनाइटेड किंग हो गया, या आप ले ले हॉबनॉब हो गए, जितने भी ये बाहर के यहाँ के जितने भी लोग हैं, तो उनकी क्रिएटिव डिजाइनिंग करना, फिर डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में मुझे एसईओ से जो है वो करना, और उसकी जो है पूरी डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में कंपनी की जो है पूरी एक ब्रांडिंग टाइप।
सॉरी, आपके ये सारी डिस्कशन से मुझे तो बहुत शदीद भूख लग रही है इस वक्त। हॉबनॉब तो आई एम इन लाहौर दीस डेज, सो आई एम मिसिंग हॉबनॉब, आई लव इट। तो मुझे ये बताइए, व्हाई यू, लाइक जो चीजें आप ऑफर कर रही हैं तो बड़ी जनरली अवेलेबल है, एसईओ अवेलेबल है, एसईएम अवेलेबल है, you have got the graphic designer who can do that, even the उनकी packaging designing के experts available है, Interflow जैसी companies हैं, and you have got many other companies who offer exactly the same thing which you are talking about. So what is your value proposition which set you apart, and why these guys have got existing services, like service providers as well. So इनके अगर existing service provider भी हैं, उनकी need भी fulfill हो रही है, so आप क्या वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन लेके जा रहे हैं कि जिसकी वजह से वो उनको छोड़ के आपके पास आ जाए? एंड डोंट टेल मी लो कॉस्ट।
नहीं सर, लो कॉस्ट सर, मेरे बेसिकली जो ये है कि जितना जो है मैं इसको एक तो आइडियाज को जितना मैं बिहेवियर से लिंक कर सकूं, ह्यूमन बिहेवियर से, मतलब अगर जो है मैं अगर कोई डिजाइन डेवलप कर रहा हूँ, जितना मैं उसमें ह्यूमन लाइफ या नेचर को मैं दिखाऊं, तो उससे जो है मैं वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन ज्यादा जो है डेवलप कर सकूंगा, एज कम्पेयर टू मैं कोई एक सिंपल सा जो है, या मैं कोई एक वो आपको डिजाइन बना के दूं जिसमें जो है मतलब इतनी ह्यूमन लाइफ की या चीजों की,
so you can come up with the more emotive campaigns, जो कि इमोशनल अपील्स लेके आएगी और वो ह्यूमन टच।
सर खाने से तो सर आपको पता है ना कि हमारा जो है इमोशनल लगाव होता है।
हम सारे अकाउंटेंट हैं तो हमारी जीना मरना खाना है।
सर जाहिर सी बात है, जब लेट सेटिंग होती है 9 साढ़े 9 बजे, तो खाने को भूख लगती है ना सर।
बिल्कुल नहीं, अकाउंटेंट्स का अदरवाइज भी, या दैट्स वन ऑफ अ की एरिया। मुझे ये बताइए अभी तक जो something which I'm unable to pick up, why movies, like आपकी वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन क्या है और आपकी मार्केट सेगमेंट कितना बड़ा है, ये कितने लोग हैं
सर?
हाउ बिग इज योर मार्केट, एंड उसको सर्व करने के लिए उतने ही लोग हैं?
सर उसको सर्व करने के लिए तकरीबन कोई एक जो यहाँ पाकिस्तान में कंपनी है उसके पास 25 to 30 जो है पर्सन्स जो है अवेलेबल हैं। और अगर आप पूरा मार्केट वाइज देखें तो आजकल न्यू स्टार्टअप्स जो है ना, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ने भी बहुत ज़्यादा जो है वो दी हुई है कि आप जो है अपना वो खोलें, कोई भी स्टार्टअप खोलें, तो खासतौर पे ई कॉमर्स की वेबसाइट्स जो है ना वो बहुत ज़्यादा डेवलप हो रही हैं। और क्योंकि जो है
सवाल है, आपने बड़ा सही पिक किया। इस वक्त पाकिस्तान में 5 मिलियन से ज्यादा बिजनेसेस हैं।
सर मैंने अभी
बिजनेसेस 5 मिलियन,
मेरे अपने यहाँ मेरे सोशल सर्कल में मैंने कुछ जो लोग देखे जो कि बाहर से बियर्ड ऑयल इंपोर्ट करके यहाँ से मिक्सिंग करके जो है चीजों का कर रहे हैं, अपनी जो है फ्रेग्रेंस, मतलब फ्रेग्रेंस जो है ना उन्होंने ये अपने उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि भाई हमारी ये फ्रेग्रेंस जो है ब्रांडेड नहीं है, लेकिन ब्रांडेड की उन्होंने कॉपी बनाई हुई है और लिटरली वो बेच भी रहे हैं मार्केट में। फेसबुक पे ये मार्केटिंग भी मैंने देखी है कि उन्होंने जो है वो नाम लिखा हुआ है उन्होंने और बियर्ड ऑयल मिक्सिंग हो रही है उसकी सारी। क्योंकि मैं उधर उनके स्टोर गया था और मैंने वो देखा, मैं तो सिर्फ
एक मिनट बेटा, आप बहुत तेज चल रहे हैं। आपने मुझे बताना है कि आपका, देखिए आपके लेट्स से आपके आसपास 50 एक बिजनेस होंगे, ठीक है, आपके सोशल सर्कल में, which you feel required this kind of service, but the market is way beyond those 50 businesses ना। पाकिस्तान में अगर हम सिर्फ पाकिस्तान की बात करें तो पाकिस्तान में 5 मिलियन बिजनेस हैं, और जिस टाइप की आप सर्विस देने जा रहे हैं वो पाकिस्तान तक तो लिमिटेड नहीं है। It's a digital marketing, let's say we pick up the digital marketing as a one of our key area, या SCM और SEO की आप बात करते हैं, so then your market segment is quite big. So मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है कि आप किस मार्केट सेगमेंट को सर्व करने जा रहे हैं, एंड व्हाट प्रॉब्लम, अगर मैं टेमिना वाला पार्ट वो यूज करूं, एजाइल वाला लीन मॉडल, सो कौन सी प्रॉब्लम आप उनकी सॉल्व करने जा रहे हैं जो आज अभी सॉल्व नहीं हो रही?
सर ई कॉमर्स की मैं इसलिए जो है मैं इसके उस पे जा रहा हूँ क्योंकि बेसिकली जैसा से आप देखें, दराज देख लें या कोई इस तरह की आप वेबसाइट देख लें, ऑल दो दे आर वेल डेवलप्ड, लेकिन जो है वो इतना वाइड जो है एरिया आपको जो है उस पे दे देते हैं कि मतलब कैप्चर करना मार्केट। तो आप जो है, मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि जैसे दराज है ना, वो हर चीज अपने अंदर समेट लेता है, मतलब उसके अंदर वो अगर मैं सिर्फ
दराज का
फूड की
बिजनेस मॉडल क्या है? व्हाट इज द बिजनेस मॉडल ऑफ दराज?
सर दराज बेसिकली जो है एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जिसपे जो है सब लोग अपना जो है जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोडक्ट्स जो है ना वो जो है
it's a marketplace for selling everything under the sun, right?
Everything under one,
right?
And तो इसमें
एक मिनट Movies, let me have the questions.
जी सर।
आपको ये पता है कि how much loss they have incurred?
No sir.
In hundreds of $1 million over the period. Their burn rate, I think there was a time when they were raising money to burn it like $3 to $4 million a month. $1 million a month पे तो इन्होंने बहुत टाइम चलाया ना, but when they wanted to grow वो $4 million burn rate पे लेके आए हुए थे per month पे. Their entire business model is to acquire customer and the vendor and create a value and sell that one on a certain valuation, जो कि बाद में आके अलीबाबा ने actually finally they have bought it out. So it was a value gain model, business model था जिसपे एक different kind of investment थी. They were not making money from the operations. They were actually burning money and they have to burn it fast. So
okay,
if you are looking at the Ras.pk as a one of a business model, first understand what their aspiration is. That business model जो है वो business model वो नहीं. You know how many property portal are out there? पाकिस्तान में कितने property portal हैं, real estate portal हैं, you know?
जमीन है और जमीन के अलावा सर OLX पे भी आते हैं, लेकिन OLX पे मैं ट्रस्ट नहीं करता.
OLX and Zameen is the same now.
Yes sir, OLX में
trust 9% shares.
और
that's 74, and you can't even name the second one.
Yeah, yes sir.
Right, that's 74 portals. Do you know how many portals out there for a marketplace similar to Dras?
सर सुपर के सुपर के अलावा जो है हम मार्ट है. हम मार्ट के अलावा सर और डिफरेंट लोग, मतलब लोगों ने अपने अपने भी बनाए हुए हैं, जैसा से मेट्रो कैश एंड कैरी है, और सर इसके अलावा जो है हम मार्ट, मेट्रो कैश एंड कैरी, और
अली एक्सप्रेस भी पाकिस्तान में ऑपरेट हो रहा है, अलीबाबा भी ऑपरेट हो रहा है, दराज भी ऑपरेट हो रहा है, एंड दे आर, इफ यू विल स्टार्ट काउंटिंग, इफ यू गो ऑन अ टॉप 500 you will find a lot of marketplaces in Pakistan जो कि लोकली डेवलप्ड है. उसमें आपको इस तरह की भी जोड़िया बाजार भी मिलेगी, आपको हाल रोड भी मिलेगा, लाहौर का हफीज सेंटर मिलेगा, कराची की मोबाइल मार्केट मिलेगी, right? So there are few who are selling everything, there are few who are selling very specific items. So now let me come back to you. if a market or a customer segment is a very well served already, so what is your value proposition? Do you know where I'm going with it? So मेरा challenge आपको ये है कि आप क्या value proposition लेके आ रहे हैं कि it will convert it will create a business and it's not like your passion, experiment or hobby. So आप अगर business model की बात कर रहे हैं तो आपने अपने customer segment, उसकी need, how they are serving that need now, where is the gap, and how you gonna really cover that gap, not based on your assumption but the real customer need. That's a big question. क्योंकि घर बैठ के assume करना कि बाकी लोग ये सारा कुछ नहीं कर सकेंगे, और फिर इसमें हमेशा एक सवाल ये होता है कि if there is a gap and you offer a solution, why Daraz can't offer the similar solution? Why the people who are sitting with the SEO and SEM and why the companies like Interflow can't really jump in and start providing that emotive campaigns? What stopped them in entering a market and killing your business? So value proposition for your customer segment need to be very well thought and based on the problem which customer is facing, and you have got a unique opportunity to serve that for whatever reason.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not discouraging you. I'm just trying to help you to take first. आपने सारी चीजें कवर कर दी हैं, लेकिन ये दो चीजें जो सबसे पहले हैं ना, I wouldn't suggest you think anything else. Go back. You have got a right kind of business जिसकी demand है, but question is why you? Why not some big fish or right? So आपने अभी सिर्फ customer segment और value proposition के दरमियान में रहना है before you start covering anything else. And let's bring rest of the team and the members here. What do they think about the business model which you just discussed and what they suggest you should be doing? So any suggestion for Maurice? Any suggestion? Maurice, there is a one question. Which business model has inspired you?
सर मुझे मेनली स्पीकिंग अर्थर लॉरेंस का आपने नाम सुना होगा. अर्थर लॉरेंस का बैक ऑफिस जो ये सर अर्थर लॉरेंस का बैक ऑफिस जो है ना वो पाकिस्तान में, और वाजिद मिर्जा जो है मेरी उनसे मुलाकात भी हुई जो अर्थर लॉरेंस के बिजनेस पार्टनर.
वेरी गुड फ्रेंड
सर. तो जो वाजिद मिर्जा से मेरी मुलाकात हुई थी तो मुझे जो है बस हम लोग एक खाने पे थे तो बस मेरी उसी वक्त जो है मेरे दिमाग में जो है वो हुआ कि यार हम क्यों नहीं कर सकते कि हम जो है वहां जाके डिस्प्ले, क्योंकि वो बात उस वक्त यही हो रही थी कि यार वहां जो है रेंट की कॉस्ट बहुत ज्यादा है ऑफिस की, तो ऐसी बातचीत चल रही थी. तो वो मुझे दिमाग में आया, मैंने बोला यार वहां जाके हम क्यों नहीं ये कर सकते. और यहाँ जो है उन्होंने क्योंकि पहले बिजनेस एवेन्यू में ही लगा हुआ उनका लिया हुआ था, तो उस लिहाज से फिर मैंने यही सोचा, मैंने बोला कि ये चीज हम यहाँ भी इस्टेब्लिश कर सकते हैं. तो बस ये मेरे दिमाग में जो है
आपका
और
you are not on the wrong path. तो आपका पाथ जो है वो एक्चुअली आप जिस चीज की बात करने लगे हैं ना वो इट्स गोइंग बैक टू द सेम जो मैंने शुरू में आपको कहा था कि आपने नहीं करनी, वो है कॉस्ट आर्बिट्राज. कि अगर आप यूएस में सेल्स ऑफिस बनाते हैं और बैक एंड सर्विस यहाँ पे लेके आते हैं, देयर इज अ कॉस्ट आर्बिट्राज. यू आर चार्जिंग इन डॉलर्स एंड यू आर पेइंग इन रुपीस, and then you get a young talent here which is cheap and which is dynamic, so you can leverage the talent. So अगर आप मुझे ये कहें कि आपका business model ये है कि you want to set up a very, you have to really come up with that what exact service it would be. If you come up with that, you are going to get into a digital advertising agency or a digital agency for businesses outside Pakistan, and you want to leverage the cost arbitrage and the talent available. अब now you have got a specific customer segment जिसकी आप बात कर रहे हो, क्योंकि अभी इससे पहले थोड़ी देर पहले आप बात कर रहे थे हॉबनॉब की एंड everything in the Karachi. उसके साथ आप cost arbitrage नहीं कर सकते, but you can set up something outside as a sales office, or you can partner with somebody like Wajid Mirza who can sell your services there, and you can get some share out of it, although it's not as profitable as if you set up your sales office and you get the primary sales done by yourself. So आपको अपना बिजनेस मॉडल में वहां पे देखना पड़ेगा, और उसमें भी ग्लोबल कंपटीशन है. इंडिया इज देयर, चाइना इज देयर, ईस्टर्न यूरोप इज देयर, एंड देन अगर आप नॉर्थ अमेरिका में जाते हैं तो आपके पास South America, Mexico, Canada, all these are competing for the US market, for the market positioning and share. So
सर
थोड़ी सी
इंडिया
रिसर्च इस चीज पे आपको चाहिए.
सर इंडिया की तो मुझे ये पता है कि बैंगलोर जो है वो पूरा जो है आउटसोर्सिंग पे ही काम कर रहा है. बैंगलोर जो उनका एक शहर है आईटी का.
और
तो
मुझे बताएं
बेसिकली
दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा इस वक्त जो आउटसोर्सिंग है अदर देन इंडिया, वेयर यू कैन सी दोस, बाकी कहाँ पे आउटसोर्सिंग आपको नजर आती है अदर देन द इंडिया इफ यू पिक अप?
सर मुझे जो है टैलेंट, वो जो है टैलेंट के हिसाब से ब्राजील लगता है और चाइना भी है. चाइनीज जो है,
चाइना है, ईस्टर्न यूरोप है, फिलीपींस इज इसको फिलीपींस को आप कहते हैं द वर्ल्ड कैपिटल ऑफ कॉल सेंटर. पूरी दुनिया के कॉल सेंटर्स जो हैं वो फिलीपींस मूव कर गए हुए. दे हैव स्पेसिफिकली वर्कड ऑन वन स्ट्रीम. उन्होंने कोई आईटी का वो नहीं डेवलप किया. फाइनेंस को अब वो डेवलप करना शुरू किया, वो भी सीपीएस के तहत यूएस के लिए. पोलैंड इज अ नॉलेज बेस्ड आउटसोर्सिंग सेंटर. सो पोलैंड ने तकरीबन 7 से 8 साल में अपने आप को डेवलप किया है. और वो दे आर नॉट ऑल ओवर द प्लेसेस, दे आर स्पेसिफिकली फॉर द इंजीनियरिंग एंड आईटी रिलेटेड, जिसको हाई टेक इंडस्ट्रीज कहते हैं, वो सारी की सारी जो है वो पोलैंड में इवॉल्व हो रही है. इंडिया में जो इस वक्त काम डंप हो रहा है वो सिग्निफिकेंटली लो एंड डाटा एंट्री है. और कॉल सेंटर्स अगर आप देखेंगे तो बहुत से इंडियन कंपनीज जो हैं वो अपने कॉल सेंटर फिलीपींस में बना रहे हैं. So this is how it's working. Argentina is another example where a lot of people are going. So आपको अभी रिसर्च की जरूरत है. आप you are running with a certain emotions and assumptions without having like going through the fundamental research कि अगर आप इस फील्ड में जा रहे हैं तो वहां पे क्या है. लेकिन ये सिर्फ आप रिसर्च तब कर सकते हैं जब आप अपनी वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन और कस्टमर सेगमेंटेशन को क्लियर करेंगे. तो then based on that you can have your question, who else is offering that, and why I would be different, and why customer should come and pay me. वो जो एक कॉन्सेप्ट होता है ना कि मैं दुकान खोलूंगा तो मैं पहला जो बंदा मैंने रखना है वो गार्ड है, क्योंकि बाहर सारी लाइन लगी होगी. ऐसा होता नहीं है रियल लाइफ में, बहुत कम ऐसा होता है. सो सबसे पहले जब आप दुकान खोलते हैं तो आपको बाहर जाके लोगों को बताना पड़ता है कि आपकी एक तो दुकान है, और वो आपसे क्यों खरीदे, वो मियाँ बशर से क्यों ना खरीदे जिससे वो पिछले 50 साल से खरीदते हैं. सो हाउ यू आर डिफरेंट, सो यू हैव टू गो आउट एंड टेल दैट. लेकिन ये सिर्फ आप तब कर सकते हैं जब आपने वो वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन डेवलप की हो कि आपने एक सर्टेन मिडिल क्लास को सर्व करना है फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर मे बी बेकिंग आइटम. आपकी स्पेशलिटी ये है कि कराची में अगर कोई और बेकिंग आइटम, कहीं से वो बेकिंग आइटम नहीं मिल रही, यू आर द वन दे कैन कम एंड गेट इट, and you sell everything else, but your specialty is baking. So you attract customer who are into the baking side, और उन्हीं की फिर gradual needs जो है आपकी regular grocery की, वो भी आप fulfill करना शुरू कर देंगे. Right? So that, you know, there is a value proposition and the customer link, and you have to differentiate yourself. You can't be me too. You have to ask question, why
sir.
me? ये आपको suggest भी किया था. Couple of your colleagues have suggested that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right, so it's a right kind of product or service offering. There is a growing demand of it, but you have to really figure out which customer you're gonna serve and what is your value proposition. So ये दो चीजों पे आप काम करेंगे तो आपको बहुत ज्यादा clarity मिलेगी. But you are thinking in the right direction. आपकी services are right and इसकी growing demand है. और जो आपने चीज पिक की है ना, इमोटिव कैंपेन्स या इमोशनल linkages of the product and the human being, most of the time this is a missing link in the campaign. So that's mean your thought process is also right, but again, you are not the only one who is doing that.
सर बॉडी शॉप की मिसाल ले लें. सर बॉडी शॉप होते ही बेसिकली ये सारे ऑर्गेनिक प्रोडक्ट्स को वो लोग जो है रखते हैं. तो ये सारी चीजें जो है बड़ी कहाँ वो होती हैं, रिफ्लेक्टिंग होती हैं. आप मार्केटिंग कैंपेन करते हैं.
नहीं, बिल्कुल है. सो यू आर थिंकिंग इन द राइट डायरेक्शन. आपको थोड़ी सी क्लैरिटी लेके आनी है कि अगर आप एक कस्टमर के सामने बैठे, ना थिंक अबाउट इट, यू आर सिटिंग अक्रॉस माय टेबल एंड यू आर ऑफरिंग मी सर्विसेज कि मैं एसीसीए के लिए ये कर सकता हूँ. ठीक है, पहले तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि एसीसीए पाकिस्तान आपका कस्टमर सेगमेंट में आता है. और अगर आता है तो आप उसको क्या वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन दे सकते हैं. यू कांट कम एंड टेल मी दैट यू कैन डू एवरीथिंग अंडर द सन और आपका ख्याल है कि आप बिजनेस क्लोज कर लेंगे. दैट्स नॉट गोना हैपन. You have to come with to me with a very specific problem which I am facing, which you have to research, and then you have to offer 2 or 3 different solutions for the problem you have researched already or you feel I have, and that's where the conversation will start. लेकिन अगर आप मेरे पास ले आएंगे कि आई एम वन ऑफ अ boutique which offers everything under the sun, मैं आपको चाय जरूर पिलाऊंगा, बहुत अच्छे तरीके से भी मिलूंगा, आप मेंबर हैं, मैं आपको टाइम भी बहुत ज्यादा दूंगा, बिजनेस नहीं मिलेगा आपको.
सही है. सही.
ठीक है ना. So you have to understand how you will put it across. ये बड़ा अच्छा एक इसका reality check होता है कि now you are on a sales. आपने फोन उठाया है या आप किसी से मिलने गए हैं तो आप उसको क्या बताएंगे कि जब आप वो फोन कॉल खत्म हो या आप उस मीटिंग से निकल के जा रहे हो तो आपके हाथ में परचेज ऑर्डर हो. What you gonna do? That's the compelling value proposition you have to bring to the table for that particular customer segment. That आपकी ऑफरिंग हो सकता है किसी और के लिए रेलिवेंट ही ना हो, लेकिन मेरे लिए रेलिवेंट होना जरूरी है अगर आपने मुझे बेचना है. Right? So I think
Yes, sir.
I would encourage everybody कि थोड़ा सा गूगल पे सर्च करें वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन पे भी. There are different models, but use this particular business model canvas to capture your thought process. और थोड़ी सी इसकी theory जो है, I think it's important. हमने ये 2-3 examples जो किया, I hope ये आपको क्लैरिटी देगा. लेकिन सबसे पहले अगेन वही है, what is the value proposition and for whom, why they should come to you, क्या वो प्रॉब्लम है जो आप सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, कोई और नहीं कर सकते.
I am going through all the messages and it is very overwhelming कि इतनी सारी चीजें मुझे देखने को मिल रही हैं और बहुत सारे जो है अच्छे मैसेजेस हैं, मजे के भी हैं.
परवा का एक बड़ा अच्छा पॉइंट है, why we are not using the job goals and versus the business goals. Parva, is it right if you can raise your hand, I can unmute you and you can share it with others as well, because I have seen people using a business model canvas to really plan their own career. So career progression के लिए भी ये जो है बहुत दफा यूज होता रहा है और अभी भी हो सकता है. Parva, please go ahead. आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं. जी फरवा. फरवा आप सेल्फ म्यूट पे हैं, यू कैन अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ. जी प्लीज गो अहेड.
सर अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
वालेकुम सलाम.
जी सर, मुझे इस मॉडल में ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि मतलब मैं इसे किस तरह अप्लाई करूं अगर मेरा कोई गोल है कि मैं कोई सीनियर पोजीशन लेना चाहूं अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में या कहीं पे भी.
सो व्हाई यू, आपका कस्टमर सेगमेंट तो डेफिनेटली आपने डिफाइन कर दिया कि इट्स विद इन योर ओन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इट्स योर सीईओ, इट्स योर बोर्ड, इट्स सुपरवाइजर, राइट? सो व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू ऑफर देम as a service, so which will lead ultimately to the senior position. So why Farwa is special, why they should promote Farwa, and what kind, or then you have to work backward. Okay, what kind of value proposition you can offer today, or what kind of value proposition you want to offer in let's say 2 years time, and then what does it take, how you will approach your board member and CEO, that's your channel. You will have a regular network meetings, or you will go and have one-to-one for developmental conversation, feedback, appraisal. You will maintain that relationship with a casual coffee, like every now and then. You know, it's coffees and tea and meals are the best way to open up, right, where the people really come. So आपके ऑफिस में अगर ये पैटर्न है कि लोग एक जगह बैठ के खाते हैं, तो just make sure you are there as well. So आपका customer relationship जो है वहां से maintain होता है. एक्टिविटीज में जो आपके पास सबसे ज्यादा चीज आएगी वो लर्निंग एंड डेवलपमेंट होगी, क्योंकि आपका गोल अल्टीमेटली ये है कि आपने एक सीनियर पोजीशन लेनी है, तो उसके लिए आपने अपनी वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन तैयार करनी है कि व्हाई दे शुड कंसीडर यू, व्हाई यू, राइट? सो दैट्स वेयर द वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन हैज टू बी देयर. रिसोर्सेज में डेफिनेटली
तो सर इसमें जी
ट्रेनिंग के लिए जाना है, क्या करना है, वो सारी चीजें उसमें आना चाहिए.
अच्छा सर, इसमें फिर कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर में क्या जाएगा?
आपका टाइम. आपकी effort, or you might be paying for trainings as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. And the revenue is your ultimate salary which you are looking for. This is not designed specifically for the career progression. There are better models for those, but that do help in terms of capturing your thoughts. So और एक चीज ध्यान में रखें कि बिजनेस जो अब गोइंग फॉरवर्ड यहाँ पे अभी डिस्कशन भी हो रही थी, सम ऑफ आवर कॉलीग्स रेफर दैट it's not only about the entrepreneurship as an independent business, it's also about the entrepreneurship which is actually working within the organization but like a businessman. कि आप प्रॉब्लम्स जो हैं पिक करते हैं, सोल्यूशन लेके आते हैं, उसको सॉल्व करते हैं, and you act very decisively just like a businessman, and that's one of a skill which is highly paid around the world. You don't need people who just follow the instructions. You need people who can come up with the new opportunities and उन opportunities को वो capture भी कर सके खुद.
ठीक है. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you for work. I think that's all from my side. Again, I'll invite research is one of a key skill you might have to develop during the 6 digits, क्योंकि आप Google नहीं करेंगे तो आपको additional information नहीं मिलेगी. और अगर additional information नहीं मिलेगी, it will not help you to build perspective. So Google is your best friend for next 100 hours. Make sure जो भी कोई बात कहता है, don't trust them, trust Google. और उसमें से 2-3 perspective लेके आए, उसे absorb करें, उसको reflect करें, उसको validate करें, and then build your opinions. Don't build your opinion based on somebody else's opinion. So over to you, Harun. That's all from my side. I hope at least in exercises से आपको ये आना चाहिए कि how we build, और बाकी इंशाल्लाह Google के through आप you will learn a lot. Harun.
Yes, Sajid, thank you very much. Just give me a second. Let me switch this thing off. Okay, yeah. So I was listening to you on the cell phone and also meeting members at the same time. So thank you very much, Sajid. I think very interesting session. I think important takeaways. Google is your best friend. Ask Uncle Google. And I think the dissection you've done for e-commerce business also, I think very valuable. So any comments, any suggestions in the end, if you want to share with us, that'll be appreciated. You're more than welcome. At the same time, any comments about the WhatsApp group and activity going on there? Like I said in the beginning, it is healthy activity, and therefore I am encouraging it. Silent group is not a place to be, right? So at least as far as the activity on my WhatsApp groups goes, I think these two groups that we have in place, they top the chart. So which is very appreciated. Please continue this conversation. Just keep the time of the day in mind. However, too late is a little too difficult. So may I suggest that we keep the interaction or activity between 8 in the morning till 12 at night. I think that's all that I had to say about it. Thank you, Tamina. So and you know, the thing is that I haven't interacted much, or I haven't put in the rules of the WhatsApp group, and despite that, the group is very well behaved and very well mannered. I think that's certainly definitely to be appreciated in a product. So thank you very much for that. Your next session is going to be Wednesday, and I'm sure that the clarification that you got today about the business plan, the business model canvas, will definitely be much more helpful in understanding the purpose of this canvas and putting it in place. Any further questions that you may have regarding the earlier conversation that we had in the beginning regarding subscriptions, regarding ACC's policies around subscriptions? If you want any such conversation, you are more than welcome to give me a call and discuss the circumstances. We don't want to do it jointly in groups like this. These are confidential personal circumstances, and therefore I'd be more than happy to help you.
Sir, we have lost your audio actually. I'm sorry. Can't hear you, sir. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
All right. I think something wrong with my microphone jack. All right. So, okay. Sayyida Mahnoor Asif is saying, just wanted to know that there are above 230 members in our WhatsApp group, while hardly 100 plus join our daily classes. I hope only members who have signed up for the 6-digit member are the members of the WhatsApp group. Yes, that's correct. In fact, Sayyida Mahnoor Asif, if you would ask the exact number of members who signed up, it was about 500 or more than 500. There are still quite a few individuals who regularly ask for the recordings, and they are catching up with us through the recorded webinars. Although that is not the preferred way of interacting, we will continue to appreciate and encourage all of you to be present here yourself and get involved in the conversation the way you were today. However, some people, because of their other engagements, are not able to, and that's perfectly all right. We expected this to happen, and therefore we'll let it be. Probably in the end, when we'll be talking about graduates, there'll probably only be about 70 or 80 individuals who graduate, and not even 100. So that's something that we are we are ready to accept. However, अगर लोगों को ये पता चल जाता है कि क्या फैक्टर्स हैं जो आपकी 6-digit सैलरी डिटरमिन करते हैं, वो क्या माइंडसेट है, so I think that purpose is quite an extent served. Okay. Kindly guide us regarding whether you can use the 100 hours at verifiable CPD. Yes, Sir Salan, I had answered that question. These 100 hours, if you attend all of them, or as many hours as you attend, can be claimed as verifiable. Let me also share with you that the certificate of participation of the entire program, of the complete program, will only go to individuals who would have more than 50% attendance. So we remember that. Short of that, आप लोग अपने third party verification के through evidences जो हैं वो present कर सकेंगे for your verifiable CPD. Okay. Any further questions regarding CPD? You can ask me. बल्कि in fact CPDs के ऊपर एक session हम अलग से भी run करेंगे. What are they for? What do you mean by verifiable CPD? How can an event qualify for verifiable CPD? It is not just a simple definition that if you're able to produce an evidence, it becomes verifiable. There are other caveats attached to it, which we'll discuss separately. When can we call you? I think I'm normally up and awake till about 10, 11. So I'm okay if you call me around 10. Later than that, I might sound a little sleepy. So that's the only downside. Otherwise, I should be. And I normally get up at around 8:30 in the morning. So anywhere between that should be all right. I normally take calls, but if I'm in a meeting or somewhere, I'll probably give out a message that I'm busy and we can talk later. And I try to return calls as well. So that's really great. Okay, the ACCA certificates, Fezan. Let me look at that email and we can talk about it later. Most common question on WhatsApp, where can I get the video lectures? So Hassan Saleh, video lectures जो हैं, if you're talking about video recordings of these sessions, so one way of accessing is कि आपको जो session start होने से 1 घंटा पहले email आती है, that your session is about to start and sharing that link with you. If you use that link, it will once again ask you for your name etc. छोटा सा registration form fill होता है, लेकिन उसके बाद वो आपको recording पे ले जाता है. Secondly, my team Nizam and Mutahid, they both compiled last week's video recording links. तो वो अभी WhatsApp group पे आप लोगों के साथ share हो जाएंगे. That PDF document जो आप click करके आप कोई भी recording अपनी पिछली access कर सकते हैं. So it's okay, already shared. Great, thank you. तो WhatsApp group एक दफा देख लीजिएगा. Sure, definitely जुनैद, आप 10 बजे कॉल कर लीजिएगा मुझे, no problem. These sessions will be useful. Okay, so okay, good. Thank you. I appreciate not disturbing my family time. We've been looking out for digital innovation certificate being offered by ACCA and how to obtain discount. Okay. सैयदा महानूर, आप मुझे एक ईमेल कर दीजिए, मैं आपको उसका डिटेल्ड रिप्लाई दे दूंगा. The three certificates that were offered to you free of cost, and there are other programs which were offered at a discount, which were being offered by partner organizations, the CPD partner organizations. So I can share those details with you. Okay. All right. So Arsalan ka question hai that we have he has 100% participation, which is great. He says, I'm aware of the third party CPDs. Okay, I'm only concerned if you can use 6 series verifiable CPD, which are 21 per annum for the current and subsequent year, and non-verifiable, which are 19, not 20. Thank you. That's exactly the case, Arsalan. So 21 verifiable, 19 non-verifiable. आप CPDs जो इसके आप गेन कर रहे हैं, वो ऑफ कोर्स आप वेरीफाइबल में क्लेम कर सकते हैं, राइट. जो नॉन वेरीफाइबल है उसमें कोई और एक्टिविटीज भी आ सकती हैं. सो अगर आप इफ यू आर लर्निंग थ्रू योर, लेट्स सपोज द नॉन मॉडरेटेड सेशंस, ओके, जिसके सर्टिफिकेट के अंदर उसका पार्ट नहीं होगा, तो आप उनको नॉन वेरीफाइबल में कर सकते हैं. इफ यू रेड अ न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल, वो नॉन वेरीफाइबल में जा सकता है, तो उसका तो कोई इशू ही नहीं है. वो तो दैट्स इजी. अगर आपने AB मैगजीन में कोई डॉक्यूमेंट पढ़ा है, कोई किसी अच्छे मैगजीन में कोई आर्टिकल पढ़ लिया है जिससे आपकी कोई लर्निंग हुई है, तो वो तो स्ट्रेट अवे क्लेम की जा सकती है. उसको वेरीफाई करने की या उसकी लर्निंग्स को रिफ्लेक्ट करने की एट द वर्क प्लेस, वो जरूरत नहीं. ओके, तो नॉन वेरीफाइबल का ये केस है. और आपने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा अरसलान, कि सिर्फ 21 यूनिट्स की हैं जो आप सब्सिक्वेंट ईयर में रोल ओवर कर सकते हैं. बियॉन्ड दैट आपके CPDs, वेरीफाइबल CPDs रोल ओवर नहीं होते. तो इन 100 CPDs में से आप 42 CPD यूनिट यूज कर सकेंगे, 21 दिस ईयर एंड 21. बाकी जितने भी आपकी लर्निंग है वो आप नॉन वेरीफाइबल में भी रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं. And same is the case with any degree program that if you're pursuing, that's also possible. Degree programs के अंदर भी ड्यूरेशन लंबी होती है. आप उसके अंदर से 21 इस साल यूज कर लें, बाकी नॉन वेरीफाइबल में डाल लें, और 21 अगले साल यूज कर लें, और जो बाकी बचे उनको नॉन वेरीफाइबल में डाल लें. अच्छा जी, डिजिटल इनोवेशन प्रोग्राम पे आपको मुझे ईमेल भेजनी होगी, मैं आपको हेड ऑफिस से लिंक अप कर दूंगा और आपको पूरी डिटेल्स फॉरवर्ड कर दी जाएंगी. ये प्रोग्राम्स आपके ACCA की वेबसाइट पर भी अवेलेबल हैं, और वहाँ से भी आप इनका लिंक ले सकते हैं. Okay, routine global updates from ACCA can count as non-verifiable. Yes, that's also right. Can I submit as verifiable CPD units for submission as so far attended? वसीम, आप अब तो अपने 2020 की डिक्लेरेशन एंड ऑफ 2020 में देंगे. ये आप 2019 की डिक्लेरेशन नहीं देंगे, अब आप 2020 की देंगे. तो वो तो आप इन एनी केस आपको 2020 में देनी है, एंड में देनी है. तो उस वक्त के लिए आप बेशक इसको अभी रिकॉर्ड करते जाएं, तो आपने CPD डिक्लेरेशन एंड ऑफ द ईयर पे देनी है, लेकिन जो CPD रिटर्न है आपकी, जिसको आपने पॉपुलेट करना होता है, जिसके अंदर आपने ये डिटेल्स डालनी है, जो कुछ आप इस वक्त लर्न कर रहे हैं वो आपने ऐड करना है, तो ये सारा कुछ आप अभी से अपनी CPD रिटर्न के अंदर एक्यूमुलेट करना शुरू कर सकते हैं, ताकि आपको एंड ऑफ द ईयर पे एक दिन बैठ के ये सारा कुछ ना करना पड़े, राइट? whatever you are learning, please start populating that in your CPD returns. Okay. There are more questions coming, so I'm sorry, I'm going to take 5 more minutes. Um, can I submit as verifiable? Okay, we answered that. Can you please tell us how many verifiable units we can claim for attending 100 hours? जी मैंने अभी explain किया मारियो. 21 verifiable units this year and 21 in the next year. ठीक है, जो आप रोल ओवर कर सकते हैं मैक्सिमम वेरीफाइबल यूनिट. तो हमने ये भी एक्सप्लेन किया, बाकियों को आप नॉन वेरीफाइबल में डाल सकते हैं. Can we claim non-credited courses from Coursera as verifiable CPD? अगर आपके पास उसका एविडेंस अवेलेबल है. हसीब मैं आपको थोड़ा सा और एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ इफ यू रिक्वायर इट. वेरीफाइबल CPD के केस में आपको 3 क्वेश्चन आंसर करने होते हैं. नंबर 1, is this a training that you've attended? Is it relevant to your role? ओके, तो पहला क्वेश्चन, क्या ये आपके रोल से रेलेवेंट है? नंबर 2, आप क्या लर्निंग है जो अपनी वर्क प्लेस पे ले जा सकते हैं एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ अटेंडिंग दिस ट्रेनिंग? दैट्स द नंबर 2 रिक्वायरमेंट. वो लर्निंग आपने बतानी होती है कि क्या लर्निंग, ठीक है. एंड नंबर 3 इज दैट देयर शुड बी एन एविडेंस ऑफ दैट अटेंडिंग दैट ट्रेनिंग. अब वो एविडेंस नंबर 1 सर्टिफिकेट हो सकता है, नंबर 2 थर्ड पार्टी वेरिफिकेशन हो सकती है, नंबर 3 it can be, let's suppose if it was a meeting held at your office and it was not a confidential meeting और आप उसके minutes share कर सकें हमारे साथ जिसमें as an attendee आपका नाम लिखा हुआ है, वो हो सकता है. अगर वो नहीं है तो फिर अपने CFO से या HR हेड से कह के आप एक लेटर दे सकते हैं कि ये लेटर मुझे दिया जाए, to be submitted as CPD. तो वो भी वेरीफाइबल CPD का एविडेंस हो सकता है, राइट? इसी तरह कई और तरीके हैं लर्निंग्स के. ये तो हम सिर्फ ट्रेनिंग्स की बात कर रहे हैं, कई और तरीके हैं. सो इफ यू आर एन ACCA मेंबर और आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कोई एक ACCA एफिलिएट या ACCA स्टूडेंट वर्क कर रहा है और आप उसकी मेंटोरिंग कर रहे हैं, वो भी वेरीफाइबल CPD है. उसके लिए भी आप अपने HR से एक थर्ड पार्टी वेरिफिकेशन लेटर लेके उसको सबमिट कर सकते हैं एज एविडेंस. ठीक हो गया? हसीब अनवर राना कह रहे हैं जी, कैन वी क्लेम नॉन क्रेडिटेड कोर्सेज फ्रॉम कोर्सेरा? मैंने इसका जवाब ये देना था हसीब आपको कि ऑफ कोर्स कोर्सेरा के ऊपर भी आपके पास एविडेंस की ऑप्शन होती है. अगर आप सर्टिफिकेट पे करके सर्टिफिकेट ले लेते हैं, दैट इज वेरीफाइबल. अगर इसके अलावा कोई और एविडेंस आप प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं, एविडेंस ऑफ अटेंडिंग इट, तो that also becomes verifiable. तो वो 3 क्वेश्चन जो मैंने आपको क्राइटेरिया बताया है वो आपको एड्रेस करना होता है. अगर वो हो जाएंगे तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली वेरीफाइबल कहलाएगा. उस्मान अजहर, जी उस्मान, ये आपकी चॉइस है कि आप कितनी अकाउंटिंग बॉडीज की सब्सक्रिप्शन पे करना चाहते हैं. तो इट इज बाय चॉइस, ठीक है. ये ऑफ कोर्स आप अगर बाकी बॉडीज के साथ भी अटैच है तो उनकी भी सब्सक्रिप्शन पे करनी है और ACCA की भी करनी है. However, जहाँ पर CPD की बात आ जाती है, अगर वो बॉडी जिसकी आप सब्सक्रिप्शन पे कर रहे हैं अदर देन ACCA, अगर वो IFAC मेंबर बॉडी है तो CPD रिक्वायरमेंट अलग-अलग नहीं है. सब्सक्रिप्शन तो अलग-अलग हर बॉडी की अपनी है, लेकिन CPD रिक्वायरमेंट सिमिलर है. उस केस में आपको यूनिट रूट फॉलो नहीं करना होता, आपको IFAC बॉडी रूट फॉलो करना होता है. और IFAC बॉडी रूट ये कहता है कि आपने किसी एक और अकाउंटिंग बॉडी की जो कि IFAC की मेंबर है उसकी अगर रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी कर दी है तो आपने ऑटोमेटिकली ACCA की भी रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी कर दी है, right? So that the evidence is to be submitted and then you, in the CPD declaration, you pick up the option that says IFAC body group. ठीक हो गया जी? Okay, Arsalan ने हसीब को रिप्लाई किया, verifiable CPD are only those which are linked with your job. If you're working as an accountant, then CPD relating to internal audit will be considered as non-verifiable CPD and vice versa. CPD has to link with your job. Yes, it has to be linked with your job. Any learning with your job, regarding your job, can be counted. अगर आप Arsalan, let me correct this. अगर आप internal audit को भी link कर सकते हैं as a learning which can improve your work in your current capacity as an accountant, even that can be treated. So ये आपके ऊपर depend करता है कि आप उसको कैसे अपनी job से link up करते हैं. Okay? अगर आप for example prepare कर रहे हैं for an internal audit review, okay, so automatically it becomes relevant. And अगर आपने internal audit का scope समझा है etc, तो वो भी CPD में count किया जा सकता है. Exactly, I agree. Compliance with irregularities by the accountant. Okay, like I am trained on VAT reporting of different countries, so I can claim that as my CPD. Yes, of course. अगर आप VAT के ऊपर कोई training attend करते हैं, तो automatically या taxation पे कोई training attend करते हैं, तो आप उसको अपनी verifiable CPD कहला सकते हैं. ठीक है जी, thank you very much. I think that's all. Quite a few questions answered, and I think it would be useful as well. So any further questions, do keep and get in touch with me. I'll be more than happy to help you people out. Till the next session, which happens at 7 o'clock day after tomorrow. No problem at all. So inshallah, we'll meet you next time, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Take care and Allah Hafiz.